What about this thing then?
We are live, by the way.
Who will then those words be directed towards?
What words? We are left speechless at this point in time because
the words that
a team that defeated the world champions, the defending world champions, now have capitulated.
Just rolled over.
By the way, white ball champions.
Yeah, they were white ball champions. I mean, both in T20 and ODI.
Exactly.
But today in Chennai, the New Zealand juggernaut has ensured that 139 all out. New Zealand, on the other hand, came back from a rather precarious position.
Yeah, they were like 100 out for 4 at one point, went on to make 280, and then to win the match by about 140 runs gives them a supremely brilliant net run rate boost. Also, when you consider the fact that they also got them all out.
So net run rate. Now that Shane's mentioned about net run rate, let's tell you about the net run rate. Plus 1.923. That's the number.
Yep.
And they were at like 1.6 or something, if I'm not wrong, before this.
So this
They
is
were 1.7. Yeah.
And where are India? Plus 1.821, having played a game less.
Correct.
If they win tomorrow, I think if it's the margin's not more than 50, then I think India will go on top. If it's more than 50.
Yeah, India basically need a win.
Yeah.
Unless it's a very, very close win, like say 1 wicket or
Then
few
New
runs,
Zealand are on
then
top.
New Zealand stay. But I think if India get the kind of win we expect them to, then they're comfortably shooting back on top. But New Zealand now, as we were discussing earlier in the dugout today, very much in that safe zone where they played 4-1-4. 5 games now, realistically, you nearly only need to win 2.
Two.
Absolutely. 2 is like 95% qualification secured.
Exactly.
India also would want the same tomorrow. They know 4 games done, 4 wins. There are 3 tougher games that are going to come up.
Including one top of the table clash now.
Absolutely.
On October 22.
So regardless of how things then pan out in those sort of crucial matches, India know that they can still afford a bit of a dent, let's say, in which has otherwise been a dentless and a flawless campaign till
this point. Absolutely.
Today, you may say that New Zealand were tested in only one particular patch, that was in the middle order. When they lost 3 wickets in 2 overs, at that time you felt, is that going to be a collapse like how England collapsed? But their depth came through, and it shone through that 144 run stand between Tom Latham and Glenn Phillips. And remember, Afghanistan also let both of them off the hook by those dropped catches.
And Phillips, in case, also survived, had one lucky survival with the
DRS.
LB.
Yep, also the LB. And remember, Chapman hitting 25, Santner hitting 7 ensured you got to 288. Now, where Afghanistan dropped 4 absolute dollies,
New Zealand were on point.
3 were dollies, I'd say.
4. Yeah, one was a tough catch.
Tough one.
But I think
for an international side, don't you think that should have been taken?
I mean, sure. Okay, 3 were very easy.
I'm saying it was a pardonable miss. The other 3 not so
Not
much.
so. Especially the 2 that Hasmatullah Shahidi, the captain,
and that one Mujib one.
Mujib, yeah. Absolutely no, you may say, forgiveness on that. But New Zealand's ground fielding and the catching, man. Okay, so what happened first? Matt Henry, clean, bold Rahmanullah Gurbaz.
You were saying about Mitch Santner's catch being perhaps the best till now. I think so, but I think there's a close second in that of Hendrik Klaasen, which he took the other day.
Against Netherlands.
Not Netherlands. In the Netherlands game only, when he ran all the way back and he took that catch. I can't remember the batter, but I think he in fact ran a long way back.
Okay.
He did very well to take that catch. So I think it's going to be a close second, that particular catch.
So, how did the entire rot start? Shane also was pointing it out. You also pointed out that Afghanistan needed a great start and a sustained start from Rahmanullah Gurbaz. But in the 5th over, 27 for no, you felt okay, they made a decent start. But Matt Henry, Black Caps number 174, he just produces a peach of a delivery. Nips back in, Gurbaz gets an inside edge, the stumps are rattled, your 80% batting prowess is done. Very next over from Bolt, you saw Ibrahim Zadran go. But when you have to look at, just go down a bit, Pawan. The match, the turning point was
literally so.
Hasmatullah Shahidi. I mean, Lockie Ferguson, he bowled a ball. I mean, it was a
nice
short
bouncer.
ball.
Yeah.
He took his hand in the eyes of it. But Santner running back, pouched it single-handedly. And he once again shows impossible kind of catches is made possible. And it's not the first time. I remember Mitchell Santner, Neil Wagner in a test match at Bay Oval 2019. Pulls a wide full toss. Ollie Pope, of all people, Ollie Pope. He could have left it, but he went for it. Stretched out. Santner just diving full stretch to his right. Plucks a one-handed stunner. And so that's why it's nothing new for Mitchell Santner. And after that, Azmatullah Omarzai some runs, but unfortunately...
See, you have to look at it this way. What sums up just how bad this match was is that they went from 125 for 5 to 139 all out. That's 14 runs, 5 wickets. That's a bad collapse. And what I had said, I remember me and Siddharth were doing a mid-innings brief little show where we said that, I had said that there are only two things that will ensure they can chase this down. One is if the openers end up getting off to an absolute flyer. That didn't happen. The second is if the pitch somehow eased up a bit for batting. The exact opposite happened. It was somehow spending even more.
Yep. I mean, to sum up and to give proof of what Shane just said, just look at the delivery that Mitchell Santner bowled to Mohammad Nabi. Angled in, straightened, top of off stump, shades of the Ravindra Jadeja dismissal to Steve Smith. Although, I think in the case of Steve Smith's wicket, that ball drifted in a bit more.
Yeah, in the case of Smith's wicket, there was more spin, more direct spin. This one, it goes and then kind of just straightens. There was no obvious, let's say, spin.
It's like a leg cutter.
But to the credit of the Kiwi bowlers, I would say, good use of the short ball as well today.
Yeah,
no experts, I would say, Afghanistan pulling the ball, but taken by surprise. Good use of the short ball. Again, we saw that with the dismissal of Shahidi, then with the dismissal of Rashid Khan as well, and we saw how all along they were all told. I think there was one more batter who got
Azmatullah Omarzai.
Omarzai as well. Yeah, we
Bolt
caught by
round the wicket.
Yeah.
And he was hitting reverse swing, by the way.
Yeah, Bolt was getting a hint of reverse swing.
Very good use of the short ball.
And also bowling to your field. You remember, I mean, one of the batters, I don't remember, I think it was Rashid Khan. I think he went for the pull shot. There was long leg stationed and he took the catch.
It reminds me of what we saw from Netherlands also yesterday. Not only stump to stump bowling, especially that dismissal, I think, of
David Miller.
Was it Markram or Klaassen who found the fielder in the deep?
I think it was Klaassen. Because Miller was bowled.
By the way, who had the very cruel idea of getting Hashmatullah Shahidi interviewed by, of all people, Pommy Mbangwa?
I mean, what can you do about it? Yeah, because, see, and the captain has to come.
No, the captain has to come. They could have sent somebody to... Look at that.
That's Ian Bishop.
Sorry, Ian Bishop, my bad.
Exactly, that's Bishi.
Yeah, that's Bishop. Yeah. Sorry, the lighting in our studio.
But at least it's not Temba and Bish.
I'm pretty sure Temba
you're talking about
than Temba.
You're talking about it from a visual aspect. Shay's talking about it from a...
is he giving the term looking down upon someone a little?
No. It just looks so off. It's like, I remember 1 year, I don't know which race it was, I think it's 2021 US Grand Prix. They had, of all people, Shaquille O'Neal come and stand at the podium, and he was, by the way, towering over almost everyone, and he was almost taller than everyone, despite the fact that they were on the podium.
All on the podium. Thought so.
But again, see, it's just like how you feel when Marco Jansen and Temba Bavuma.
Maybe you can actually put it on the director for going to the long frame.
Yeah,
you have to give credit to that.
You can ask for a tighter frame.
Just like a tight frame, do cut to cut.
Yeah, but imagine, luckily, it's not someone like Mohammad Irfan speaking to Temba Bavuma.
Oh.
Because I think there was also one more image where the great Kali and Temba Bavuma were having...
This happened during one of the pre-events to the World Cup. It did happen.
Man, imagine that.
Yeah.
7'4", by the way.
Yeah. What was it? Dalip Singh Rana.
Dalip Singh Rana.
Yeah, Dalip Singh Rana. He's 50 plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Not 50, around 40. No, it would be less than that.
Less than that, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point.
Yeah,
the point is bad shot.
Bad shot.
Which can be said about a lot of the Afghani players also.
Perhaps he would have been able to pull the ball unlike the Afghan players.
Yeah.
I know. But again, see, bowling disciplined, fielding not much of lapses at all.
And they stuck to their plans, by the way.
And even look at it, you may be 4 or 5 down, but then look at the Kiwi fielders. There was one shot down the ground. Henry dives full length to save a couple of runs, despite knowing you are well on top. still the commitment, the ground fielding today was outstanding from New Zealand.
And you know what makes them look like a proper juggernaut right now is the fact that a couple of games that they've not had Williamson, including today, I think, which is the third game, because he'd only come for the Bangladesh match. He wasn't there for the first two. Even then, they, in 4 games and 3, when they didn't have Kane Williamson, they weren't phased at all.
Their batting doesn't look like it misses Kane Williamson, which is perhaps the biggest compliment I can give this Kiwi side. By the way, not much of a difference even there.
Yeah, I mean, you've been led by a very, very calm guy in Tom Latham. I mean, he's always been, and remember, ever since the 2019 World Cup till now, Williamson's not played much of ODIs. It's been Tom Latham who's been leading the team.
Yeah, in fact, every time they wanted to rest Williamson, it's always been Latham who's been the stand-in captain.
And remember, a keeper proving to be a good captain. Where have we heard that?
Well, we hear that the most here in India.
And we still miss him. I mean, MS Dhoni, there cannot be anybody like him. I mean, I don't think in this next upcoming generation, you'll never see anybody like Dhoni, because tactical wise, I think he was second to none.
You know, they say that in a game, let's say from production point of view, which is a difficult game to cover because it's a 360 game, unlike let's say football, where just a couple of cameras here and there, it works because you're only looking at few angles. Cricket is 360. Who is that one person who gets that 360 view? It's the keeper.
Yep.
Nobody else. No matter where you put that person in the field, let's say somebody fielding in the deep, will not get that angle.
Exactly. And remember, Adam Gilchrist could have been that one, but because how could he have captained when there was Ricky Ponting?
and Ponting doing the job that he was doing.
Exactly. Michael Clark, all those.
Predecessor, not successor.
Ian Ely.
No.
Predecessor.
Mark Taylor.
Predecessor, the ones who came before him.
Steve Waugh.
The
captaincy role, because keeping predecessor was Ian Ely.
No, keeping predecessor, not about the
captaincy.
Steve Waugh and
Mark Taylor.
And of course, then Ponting later.
But remember, Gilchrist achieved what Ponting could never ever achieve. It was Gilchrist who captained Australia to victory in India in 2004. It wasn't Ricky Ponting.
Nagpur, wasn't it?
No, 3 tests. Bangalore, Chennai, Nagpur. It was Gilchrist who captained because Ponting had a broken thumb. He joined only for Mumbai. And what happened in Mumbai? Australia lost.
It's basically the equivalent of Rahane leading the team in...
Because that was Australia's final frontier. They hadn't won for 35 years. They won it in 2004. And India also, because of infighting, they dished out a green deck in Nagpur. Please, Gilchrist, Gillespie and McGrath, have fun. Have fun. And boy, did they have fun, Gillespie in particular. But at this point in time, I'll say that New Zealand looked like a thorough unit, but there is a weakness. The tendency to collapse, it can haunt them also. A better bowling and fielding lineup could hurt them.
But even then, I think I am not that worried, let's say, if I were New Zealand right now, because I think they still look better than South Africa. South Africa, like I was saying yesterday, they've got dashers. With dashers, you don't know what's that one day when they can actually block the ball. Here, if you see, you've got the likes of a Latham playing there. Okay, Michelle, I would still say Darryl Mitchell will still go big, and maybe he will not be that sort of, person who can consolidate in the middle, because the presence of Latham gives me that confidence. Again, Phillips will perhaps not do that, but again, Chapman, you can bank on as well to be able to, just soak in the pressure. So they gave a far settled look to me than even South Africa.
Plus, I think their bowling also, there is a lot more variety than South Africa.
And again, they have so much variety that they can be comfortable not playing both Ish Saudi
and Saudi. Exactly. Saudi was not playing today.
Yeah, Saudi is not played at all. No, he's been dealing with that injury.
Thumb fracture that he sustained in the England series. So, whether they will play with the same lineup against India, it remains to be seen, because you would want to get in someone like a Tim Saudi, but then you can't drop anybody.
Who do you drop?
You can't
drop. I don't think you're dropping anyone. I don't think you're making any changes. Dharamshala, if by the way, on a track that was turning, they didn't feel the need to bring in a third spinner, they're 100% sticking with this.
By the way, bad news if you're an Indian cricket fan, because the broadcaster did show a graphic suggesting that the maximum swing that has been seen off late, and when I say off late, I'm only talking about the World Cup 2-3 matches that we've seen at every venue, it is Dharamshala that has offered the most swing.
But I will tell you one thing, the Indian cricket team is not too bothered by banana swing, if you have to look at it. Huge amounts of swing. They are only worried
Subtle.
about very subtle.
That's all Red Bull needs.
And Matt Henry.
Matt Henry was the one
2019.
Yes,
Exactly.
it was Henry, and always Henry's hurt India.
Henry is hurting everyone right now.
And if you look at it in the Asian subcontinent, Henry's bowling is far more impressive than what he does in New Zealand. Because I don't know, somehow he either hits the right length or his metronomic accuracy is such that maybe he gets wickets on a regular, consistent. Just search Matt Henry's record in Asia. It is brilliant. And remember, even in 2019, you didn't play Tim Southee. You only had Ferguson, Henry, Bolt.
Correct.
And the trio are doing it yet again in tougher conditions.
Yeah.
Because Asia subcontinent, you didn't. But today, look at the bounce and pace that Ferguson was getting off this Chennai deck.
Ferguson was actually getting a lot of bounce. He was troubling everyone when he was coming on to bowl with the short ball. He would keep pushing it up, that one ripper, and ooh.
And
I think they knew. They came in with the plan against Afghanistan, Lockie Ferguson's pace and then his ability to get the bouncer right. Really delivered.
this is where the plans, the execution, and the discipline. Why have New Zealand, with the exception of maybe against Australia, why have they performed well against most of the other nations? Discipline. And also the ability to ensure that they do not take the game away. The only nation who's managed to break their code is Australia. Because in World Cups, if you look at it, sure, they've won in 99, they won in 2015, but even in 2015, Australia almost defended 145. 152, by the way.
But
They
did you see
almost-
any piece of paper today? Like we
No
saw
piece
yesterday?
of paper.
There's no piece of paper needed.
I mean, for them now, it's like a piece of cake for them at this point in time, not a piece of paper. Because has Scott Edwards or anybody of the Netherlands guys said, what is that paper all about?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
Though Scott Edwards is oozing with confidence today,
Yeah.
because one of his comments I saw, I think he said that if we play the brand of cricket that we're capable of
We
playing,
can beat anyone.
we can beat anyone. On that, maybe.
I mean,
this is,
I just wish that all the cricket fans say that, oh, they came into this World Cup, it was a fluke and everything.
no.
They
Can't say
have
that.
proven that the win against the West Indies was not a fluke. They are here to play at
Exactly.
this point. So that's why.
And different people delivering. It
Yes.
was Logan Van Beek who single-handedly got you here to the World Cup, and look right now.
Yep. It's Scott Edwards, it's Paul Van
Scott
Meeken.
Edwards, after a dry run, by the way, at the
Yep.
start, gets you 70 odd, a match-winning 70 odd, takes the team to a total which was competitive to begin with. Then with the ball as well,
Yep.
it was Van der Merwe who stepped
Oh yes, Van der Merwe, what
opened the
a...
floodgates with that ball to Babu Maya.
At the age of 39, man, that guy's passion and energy is next level. And
Bulldog level.
Look at the athleticism. Even now the athleticism. If you want a fit guy at the age of 39, it's Van der Merwe.
Van der Merwe, we tend to forget, was the one who took that blinder
Yeah,
of
at
Miller.
38,
South Africa.
Then at 38 he took that catch. because
Ran
he was
all the way
same
back,
time.
dived.
Yep, and
Seal the
was the
match.
bowler? Van Meckeren. And there are a lot of Dutch guys who are ensuring that they fulfill their dreams. I mean, that viral tweet is going on, which will soon be up on
Uber
Sports
Eats.
Today also. Yeah, Van Meckeren had to deliver Uber Eats during COVID just to make sure he gets by.
No, he said 2020
Yeah, that's COVID.
World Cup. He said.
That World Cup was postponed, remember?
Oh, yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
It was supposed to be 2020, then it got pushed back by a year, no? 21.
Yep. And 2021 also, the Netherlands, I think they didn't qualify from the qualifiers. I mean, the main group, 2 nations had to get in from each. I think Netherlands didn't qualify. They only qualified in 2022. So that's why for 2 years, what would all these guys do? The likes of Paul Van Meckeren, Bas de Leede.
Yeah.
You had Scott Edwards. Scott Edwards, by the way, an electrician playing cricket and couldn't feature for Australia. And see, there are only 2 or 3 local Dutch guys. Paul Van Meckeren and you have Bas de Leede. That's about it. Vikramjit Singh, obviously from India. Aryan Dutt from India.
India.
Max O'Dowd from New Zealand. Logan Van Beek from New Zealand. And you have Colin.
No, his name is Logan Van Beek. I'm 100% sure there's some Dutch there somewhere.
His mother is
There
Dutch.
we go.
His father, his grandfather, by the way, was the first double international. Played tests for West Indies and New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is why. And if you look at it, Colin Ackerman, South African. Then you got Roelof from South Africa.
But again, with he would be of
His mother,
Yeah, I mean, again, the vendor makes it very evident.
Yeah.
Dutch descent.
Yep. So 2 South Africans, 2 New Zealand guys, 1 Australian, 2 Indians are all ensuring, and a couple of Dutchmen ensuring that they create success. And just like Afghanistan, I don't see them winning. They can potentially win 2 or 3 games more.
They can, absolutely.
They are playing Netherlands are playing Afghanistan.
Mahesh saying that to qualify for the semis, you need 6 wins.
New Zealand are to win 2 in the next 5.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
that's correct.
Can you disagree at the moment? No.
It is. I mean, see, New Zealand have got one more game against, if you may say, the weaker team at this point. They have won against Sri Lanka, that is on November 9th.
Yeah.
And apart from that, all their other remaining games are tough. I mean, they play India, then they play South Africa, then they play Australia. So, and Pakistan.
Again, 4 wins at the back, that's
so-
just half the job done.
Exactly.
Yep. So, one just Santner could take Kohli easily, although I don't know. I mean, see.
No, but see, that the reason Vansh is saying that is because
Left arm
truth be
spin.
told, left arm spin, Kohli's average in ODIs is hovering at about 19 odd.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem.
Tomorrow, if Shakib plays, I mean, it's a big if, because Nitin,
Touch and go.
our correspondent from Pune, he stated that a decision will be taken only at the toss whether Shakib will be playing. Now, if he can conquer Shakib, then I think he can tackle Santner also pretty well.
Because they're similar kind of bowlers.
Yeah. Although Shakib relies much more on variety, Santner relies much more on accuracy. So that is the only thing that's there. And Dharamshar, I think, won't give him that much of assistance.
No, not like this for
Yeah,
sure.
he'll be accurate.
Unless it rains again.
Oh yeah. By the way, the weather on 22 is also pretty dodgy for New Zealand in India.
Dear God, why?
I know. It's like this.
Darshan PD says that every 4 matches till now, New Zealand has won a good margin. Certainly, it will be a top clash between them and India. It's still 50-50 on who will win. Going to be very close. Just hope the rain stays off. Pretty much echoing what we just said.
Yeah, I mean, it will be a good game, but if you look at it, India are far more a better team unit at this point.
No, I will not buy
Comparing
that.
them to New Zealand.
No, you know why I don't agree with that? I think they're balanced, and it really depends on just who's having the better day.
Better day, yeah.
Because I think both teams have their own strengths, and both are kind of clicking in their own ways. The kind of combinations they have, it's working nicely for both teams. It really depends on
It's
who does
actually
what.
you
Somewhere
can't-
down the line.
It's actually a 50-50. It's not even 51-49 for me right now.
Somewhere down the line, a streak must end. Because remember, for 20 years, India haven't beaten New Zealand in any ICC format. Look at it. I mean, 2003 Centurion Super 6 stage. That was
it.
That was it. 7 World T20 when India won the title. They had only one loss.
New Zealand.
That was to New Zealand. 2000, if you look at it, they didn't play in 15. You look at
What
16
about
World
the
T20.
2002 Champions Trophy?
They didn't play there. 2000 New Zealand beat India
2000.
in the final.
There was one I was trying to recall. Yeah.
2000. 16 New Zealand beat India. 19 you all know the semi-final what happened.
Bas, let's
21 you saw what happened in the league stage in Dubai.
Bas.
And of course, the World Test
World
Championship.
Test Championship final. So somewhere down the line the streak has to end.
Why put that salt in the wound?
No, I'm saying that you're not going to have any wounds because I think a streak might end and it might end on 22 October.
Very possible.
See, there's going to be no better occasion, there's going to be no better place also to do it. And if India were to ever, let's say, break that streak, let's say, this was going to be it in India.
And remember, out of India's 3 wins in World Cups against New Zealand, 2 have come in India. 1987. All others have come in neutral venues where New Zealand have done well against India in England. They have won most of the games in England.
Which doesn't surprise me really when you
Exactly.
consider.
4 in England, 1 in New Zealand, 3 India have achieved, 2 in India, 1 in Centurion.
Pawan Venkat saying that things could have been very different if the Afghan fielders had held on to the catches.
Absolutely.
Butterfingers in the field.
Those 4 catches made a difference of 60-70 runs easily.
Absolutely. And maybe their approach would have changed had they not been chasing 289. Simple as that.
They would have paced their innings even better then.
Yeah.
Then Rahmanullah Gurbaz and all the others need not have. And remember, if you look at it, supposing they were 130 for 5 in chase of 210, Rashid Khan would have played a far more mature knock than.
True.
That's the reason
But he
why.
didn't need 60 runs. He needed 160 runs.
Yeah. Varun Parvatneni is correcting. Oh yes, I forgot.
Teja
Neeramaluru.
Andhra, right?
Yes, from Vijayawada.
Yeah.
He works in a technological firm called Stratex. But he's a part-time cricketer.
Lovely.
So you are going to see that video out pretty soon because I've done a video on what are the backgrounds.
It's on the edit table as we speak.
Yes. So Mahesh is asking me a question. Who will I support in India versus New Zealand clash? Look, I would like to say that looking at teams and all these kinds of things, I'm a pretty practical kind of a person. So I'll go with India on that day, on October 22.
Not Mahesh answer.
I mean, why not? I mean, this team doesn't. In 2019, there was a weakness.
Very obvious weakness, number 4.
No, but in 2023, I think all the things that India needed have fallen into place just at the right time.
Freaking Awesome makes a good point though, says that Pune is probably one of Virat's favorite hunting grounds, averages 64 there. KL also has a good record and it will most likely be a 320-330 pitch. Agreed. I don't think you're getting anything beyond a very good batting friendly track
I
over
mean,
there.
who can forget Virat Kohli's that one knock that he shared with Kedar Jadhav, that partnership was England. 2017, remember? It was, I mean, that was peak Virat Kohli, where he could do nothing wrong. But yeah, even Paras Mambre stated, the bowling coach stated that it is going to be, because it's at high altitude, you are going to see a lot more runs and 4s and 6s. You will see a lot more of them. So it looks like a proper belter, like how we had in Delhi.
So dry conditions, so yeah.
Yeah, it could happen. Surprisingly, Pawan Venkat, Captain Shahidi seems to be the weakest player in the Afghanistan squad. Why
Shades
surprisingly?
of 2019.
Gulbuddin Naib, who they were showing consistently in the dressing room.
To be fair, Gulbuddin Naib of 2023, I would say probably deserves to start because they really don't have too many good pace bowling all-rounders.
Yeah.
So he's unfair now, but he's still paying the price for 2019 when he just randomly became captain out of nowhere.
There was team disharmony, and I think the scapegoat that Afghanistan found that time was Gulbuddin Naib.
Which is ironic because he had nothing to do with it.
Exactly. I think it was Asghar Afghan and the board having some kind of a confrontation. It was over the selection of Naib, I think. And Naib not only gives him the board delivers the ultimate insult. Afghans dropped. Naib is appointed, but he's appointed the captain also, I think. So that was a very sad saga.
Very weird time in Afghanistan cricket. And now look at it, you would say that Naib is probably one of the better all-rounders and sitting out because of reasons.
Yep.
I mean, he was one of their better players even in that series against Pakistan. Consistently getting wickets.
Yep, that way. Varun Parvatneni, he's been very naughty here. What's the current state of Pakistan players being ill? Will the game be postponed in case of walkover? No.
Postponed seems unlikely. Please don't give them that idea.
Please. Because of their ridiculous suggestion, we had that special reserve day in the Asia Cup. Because of the PCB. But no, I think the players have recovered. The PCB sources have stated that it is not an illness that has swept the entire game. Yeah, 6 players were ill. But I think they're all fine. And remember, they still have another day to go. 20th is the match. Australia versus Pakistan. So let's see.
Anyway, I think we can...
Yeah, we can call it a wrap. It has been a very, very convincing win by the Kiwis.
100%.
They go top of the table, 4 wins out of 4, nothing much to worry about. Half the job done, more than half the job, I would say.
Yeah, they have played 4 games, which is 40% of the tournament.
Another 2 wins, and they are well and truly looking like a team that will definitely be the first ones to seal a place in...
I would like to take this Varun Parvatneni question. Also, is there ever a champion who made it with a single loss? Maybe West Indies, you forgot Australia of 2003 and 2007, Varun. You forgot Sri Lanka of 1996. Sri Lanka did not lose a single game.
Yeah, but Sri Lanka is that... It's still, there's an asterisk attached there because they had a couple of walkovers.
But that was because Australia and West Indies flatly refused.
No, that's fine, but it's still an asterisk.
Yeah.
Australia 2003-7 on the other, that was the height of their dominance.
No
one could beat them.
Remember, even in 2011, India lost to South Africa. 2015, Australia lost to New Zealand. 2019, England lost 3 games in order to become the champion. Then if you look at it, 1999, Australia lost to Pakistan and to New Zealand.
96 also.
Sri Lanka, that's a 92. Pakistan
just about made it.
They lost their first 2, if I'm not wrong.
They lost 3 out of 4.
Exactly.
1 game was washed out.
Even 87, Australia lost.
They lost 1 game to India in Delhi.
But even in 92, they had to lose to India.
Who?
Pakistan.
Of course. That doesn't change. 83, India lost to Australia and West Indies. 79, West Indies were unbeaten. 75, West Indies were unbeaten. So
actually 2 teams have done it twice.
Yeah.
West Indies and Australia.
Australia.
And back-to-back years.
And with an asterisk, Sri Lanka. 96.
Right.
So that's the situation. So we are all geared up for India versus Bangladesh
We are.
tomorrow. Yeah, we are. It's a game. It's a World Cup game.
It's a game.
Because remember, 2007 Bangladesh did beat you.
Yeah, but that 2007 team was full of a lot of issues. This
Exactly.
team doesn't have those issues.
Exactly. It's going to be a clinical performance we are hoping yet again from the Indian
Absolutely.
team. Less issues fitness-wise, form-wise for the Indian team.
Combinations-wise.
Yep. For the Bangladesh team, big question mark over their talisman, Shakib Al
Shakib.
Hasan. If Shakib is
Still
not
no
there,
clarity. Then they're gone.
then they're gone,
Then
man.
they're gone.
They will have to rely on all the others like Tawheed Hridoy, Nazmul Hussain Shanto, Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur Rahim, Mehdi Hassan.
Rahim and Mahmudullah, yeah.
And
like
also-
I see them as the only guys who can then probably rescue them in some way, but even not enough.
Mehdi.
It may not be enough, that effort from them to.
Exactly. So
Able to
let's
win.
see. We are all going to build up from 1 o'clock tomorrow. India
We'll see you
versus
then.
Bangladesh. We'll see you then. From me, Harshit and Shane, it's bye bye. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Spread the love. Show us a lot more love. Yeah, we are doing all this. It's World Cup season, and the business end is about to start. After 19th, it will start. Bye bye.
Good night.